Nui is described as a mysteries. I need to go back to school. Hi guys, it's Xenia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a massive Zara perfume haul. I cannot even tell you guys how many comments I've gotten to try out Zara perfumes. I don't know what took me so long. Actually, I kind of do. I do not like shopping online, as we all know. We know this by now. And I also don't have a Zara near me where I live. But I was actually in Miami because I was getting my tattoos. And there was a Zara like right next to the tattoo place. So I was like, let me just check it out. Let's see what all the hype is about. Needless to say, I went in there and I basically like blacked out. I got like over 10 perfumes. This bag is so heavy that she literally had to like triple bag the bag. I don't even think I can pick it up, but I'll try. Oh my gosh. It's literally like triple bagged and it's filled to the top. I'm sure that if you are wondering about any perfume in specific from Zara, I probably have it in this video. Needless to say, this video will be like 300 million years long. So for those of you that don't like long videos and don't like a lot of talking, you might as well just click out of it right now because we're gonna be here for a while. So I don't want to hear any comments of you talk too much because I'm giving you the warning right now. You can hop off this video. By the way, these are all so affordable. They're like 17 to 25 bucks, like literally insanely priced. But let me tell you guys, these like blew my mind. A lot of these perfumes have literally become like some of my staples. I just can't see myself not ever doing without these perfumes, and I was not expecting that at all. I didn't really think super highly of these perfumes, and I don't know why, but I definitely do now that I have tried them. Anyways, without further ado, I'm so excited for this video, and I know you guys are excited for this because I have gotten so many requests on Instagram and on YouTube of people telling me to please review Zara perfumes. So here we are. Let's get straight into these perfumes. So I just dumped them all right next to me over here, and I actually have 12 perfumes to show you. So yeah, this will be a very long video. So the first one that I got, this one is Apple Juice. I love the name of this, and then this like mint, like light green mint color just speaks to my soul. This one was $19.90, and this is a 6.8 fluid ounce bottle. That's insane. Usually the biggest size is like 3.4 ounce, and to get $20 worth of a 6.8 fluid ounce perfume, I'm obsessed with the packaging of these. I know that they're really simple, especially on your vanity. They are so cute, simplistic, very like chic looking. I was not expecting a scent that was called Apple Juice to really wow me because I don't love like super airy, fresh, light fragrances. I'm more so like on the sweeter side. I love stronger, deeper, more like woody scents. And I just didn't feel like the name was like giving it to me and all of that. A lot of these I picked up more so to just kind of like review. And then I was thinking of like selling them or something, but she's staying with me. I completely fell in love with this. And yes, it is a airy, fresh fragrance. This is actually compared to Chanel Chance Eau Tendre, which is in a pink bottle. That perfume has been a perfume I have wanted to try for the longest time, but it wasn't ever a perfume that I was like dying over for me to actually spend that kind of money on it. But this one really is giving me the vibes of it. A lot more apple-y. Something that I found with a lot of these is that the names don't really always correspond with the scent. There's certain names where I don't really necessarily like the note of the name, like Gardenia or something, for example, and then you smell the perfume and you're like, this is like not Gardenia at all. So the names don't always correspond with the scent, but for this one, this is super true to the scent because it smells like apple juice. But it's not so realistically like apple juice. It's more an apple candy, an apple lollipop, like a sour or like a green apple lollipop. This smells exactly like that, but with like a perfumey touch. I'm so obsessed with this scent. Even though I don't normally go for scents like this. I have hair, by the way, all over my face because I picked up my dog from the groomers. And so she had hair all over her. And so I'm like itching all over my face. I have like little hairs. This says, every day the artist becomes her own muse. I don't really know what that's supposed to convey. This has top notes of apple, grapefruit, orange, middle notes of rose, violet, peony, and jasmine, and base notes of musk, sandalwood, and cedar. I think That's why I'm liking this, because this has some of like my favorite notes thrown in together. I do enjoy an apple scent, so there's that to kind of like, it opens up with that like bright, fruity, a little bit citrusy feel. But then you give me that jasmine. It has rose, and I don't typically love rose, but I don't smell any rose in this. Maybe it's playing some sort of role in making this a little bit like floral, but there's no like heavy rose smell or like a vintage rose smell, like none of that at all. Otherwise, I would not like it. But what I am smelling is the jasmine, and I think that's why I love it, because it's like a fruity floral, more so fruity, but like apple mixed with jasmine, mixed with a little bit of like the cedar and just the woody notes and like a hint of musk. It just makes this so good. Perfect everyday sort of fragrance. It honestly gives me like big summer vibes, even though there's nothing specifically summery about it. Just like the freshness of it just reminds me of like wearing this on like a hot summer day. Let's say you're on vacation or something, you're wearing like a nice flowy dress, you come home from like the beach, you know like when you're at the beach, the best feeling ever is like coming home from the beach, taking a shower, going to dinner. This is like what you spray on, and it's kind of like the vibe that it's giving me. It's not like a beachy fragrance, but it's just giving me that vibe. I don't know. And it smells really expensive too. This does not smell like a $20 fragrance. It has nothing in it that would make you think this is cheap. It is super expensive smelling, especially considering it is compared to Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. It's giving you very much green apple lollipop vibes. So that is apple juice. Do I recommend it? Heck yeah, this is so good. This is like something that you just throw on. You don't have to think about it. Not a fragrance that if you're sick that day, you're not really feeling your best, this will uplift you. It's not a fragrance that will weigh you down or make you feel worse. Love me some apple juice. I actually don't like apple juice, but I like this apple juice. All right, so speaking of names that don't correspond with the scent, I know that apple juice really did, but this one doesn't at all. Honestly, if it wasn't for me reviewing this would not have been one that I picked up really, and I wasn't really thinking much of it. I wasn't thinking that this one was gonna be like my absolute favorite until I smelled it. Oh, I didn't even say the name. This is Wonder Rose. That's why I'm saying this does not smell like the name. I don't love rose scents. There's some that I'm okay with, but I don't like a vintage grandma vibes kind of smelling rose. This was $17.90 and it is a 3.4 bottle. Oh, this is incredible. You're gonna hear me say that for all of these, but that's because I just fell in love with all of them. Wonder Rose is described as an everlasting bliss for sweet and not so sweet days. This one has actually top notes of pear, middle notes of red fruits, and base notes of vanilla. So there's actually no rose in this at all, so I don't know why the name Wonder Rose. Maybe you're wondering where the rose is because there's no rose. This is so sweet. There is nothing really fresh about this one. It is super berry. Think you mix berries with vanilla. Kind of reminds me, just in the opening, not so much in the dry down, but in the opening it almost reminds me a little bit of my Be Enchanted from Bath & Body Works, which is like a love of mine. It's just very berry-like in the opening, almost like pomegranate. I do get a hint of rose, like now that I'm smelling it here, although I feel like when you spray this on your body, I don't really get that much rose. It's like a hint of rose. It's not like a rose scent, contrary to the name Wonder Rose. What I personally get here is just berries and vanilla, like a very, very sweet, sugary, not gourmand sweet, but very, very sweet fragrance in like a really delicious fruity sweet kind of way. If you love a juicy sweet fruity vibe kind of fragrance, something along the lines of Be Enchanted, and also it kind of almost reminds me of Velvet Sugar from Bath & Body Works. So again, another really sweet sugary fragrance, but all of that sweetness is coming from like the juicy berries. If you love berries and vanilla like smushed together, that's what you get out of this. This is a very heavenly smell. It's super, super feminine, kind of like a flirty scent, something that you could wear to like a brunch date, breakfast date, not so much a dinner date. When I think of like a dinner date, I think of wearing something a little bit heavier, a little bit darker, a little bit sexier, and this one is like very innocent sexy, like girly girl. Speaking of fruity, we have Go Fruity. So clearly I really just was very impatient with this box. This packaging, full on solid mint bottle, and I'm obsessed. I know that a lot of people don't love solid bottles, and I don't know why. I do know why. It's because they can't see how much that they've used up of the fragrance, but I don't care. It looks super cute. It doesn't smell anything like the name. This gives me very fruity vibes by like the look of it before I even like take a look at the notes or anything like that. The name, the packaging, you would think like fruity, fresh kind of fragrance, but it's not really that. It has a lot more character to it. I will say though, kind of like a very big downside to pretty much all of these. There's some that last better than others, but I think a lot of people can agree with the fact that all of these don't really have an insane lasting power, which for a $17 fragrance, I don't really expect that much, and I'm not really mad about it because, to be honest, lasting power for a perfume, I know that it really matters to a lot of people. For me, that's the last thing that I care about. And I know that like to some of you are like, are you crazy, girl? Like, what? I care more about the scent because I don't really mind keeping a perfume. Like, I always keep perfumes with me anyways throughout the day. Even if I have a super long lasting fragrance, I still always like to touch up and just freshly smell like it. And so I always keep like whatever fragrance I'm wearing, I always keep it in my bag anyways, regardless of it's like super long lasting or not. So I don't really mind the fact that these are not super long lasting, but I will kind of give that disclaimer that these are not super long lasting. They last like a good 4 hours, which is kind of average, a little bit less than average, I guess, performing. They're more so close to the skin scents. I don't really think any of these are super like projecting loud scents. Go Fruity is described as a breeze of fruity ingredients with a twist of light vanilla, and that's pretty much like very true to the fragrance. Notes of apple, peach, and vanilla. It's kind of similar to apple juice with that apple scent, but it's a completely different take on that perfume. It smells completely different. Apple juice smells very fresh and airy, very fruity though, but fresh. This one is a fragrance that is kind of along the same lines of Burberry Her or Baccarat Rouge. This one has that scent, that ozonic, really hard to describe, unique scent that all those scents have. But this one is very much leaning on the scent of Burberry Her because like Burberry Her, it has that really strong fruity quality. Burberry Her has that cloud scent mixed with like strawberry. And this one is similar to Burberry Her, but just with an apple note as opposed to a strawberry note. So still very bright and uplifting. So basically think of this as being Burberry Her's apple sister. One of my favorite takes, honestly, of that whole cloud scent. I'm not a huge fan of cloud. Cloud is just too much sweetness. The level of sweetness of cloud mixed with that ozonic vibe just creates a really potent, in my opinion, scent. I just feel like cloud needs to be balanced out by like something a little bit more fresh and fruity like Burberry Her is and like this one is. So this is exactly like what I would have wanted those scents to smell like, and even Baccarat Rouge, because I have smelled Baccarat Rouge and I honestly wish it smelled more like this. It's a lot more wearable of a scent. A lot of people say that they have a really strong like medicinal scent to them, and I definitely agree, but Burberry Her and this one I don't think have that medicinal vibe at all. Weirdly enough, I'm smelling this right now and it's kind of almost giving me hints of Chloe Nomad a little bit. So if you like the scent and vibe of Chloe Nomad, go for this one. And also if you like Burberry Her, but just imagine it with an apple note rather than a strawberry scent. That is Go Fruity. Definitely a lot more of a complex perfume than what the name would probably suggest. So then I got this, and this is actually a double perfume set. So you get two perfumes in here for $25. You get two 3.4 fluid ounce perfumes for $25.90. This one has Gardenia and Orchid in it. So let's talk about these scents. In my opinion, like from what I've heard of the Zara perfumes, I think I just dropped it. I think Gardenia is probably one of their most popular because this scent has been said to be comparable to YSL's Black Opium. And I do have Black Opium right here, so I am going to kind of put them to the test and see if they really are comparable. Gardenia is described as splashes of a vibrant force, genuine and confident. Gardenia has notes of orange blossom, coffee, and vanilla. So I'm guessing that Black Opium vibe is probably coming because of that coffee scent, which is what Black Opium is kind of known for. Yeah, literally Black Opium. It smells exactly the same. I don't really even need to spray this because I'm very familiar with the scent. I've had it for a very long time. It was honestly like one of my first designer scents before I was really like into perfumes like how I am now. It was one of my first purchase perfumes because it was so hyped up, and when I used to work at a fragrance store, this was literally one of the most popular perfumes. Like, we had at least one person a day buying this, so I'm very much familiar with it. And this one, I don't really have much more to say other than it smells exactly the same. I really can't even pick out a difference. I really can't. And for those of you that don't have black opium, so you don't know what it smells like, it basically smells like a mixture of coffee and intense sweetness. A lot of people think that this is a very sexy perfume. This is a lot of guys' favorite perfumes on women. I don't know what it is in here, but a lot of guys love this scent. It's a very sexy, kind of deep and mysterious perfume. Very womanly, not so much like girly. I know that a lot of people think it's like overdone and it's generic, and a lot of people don't love it at this point because so many perfumes have come out smelling like it, but I don't think anybody can deny the fact that it is a sexy perfume. And this one has the same exact vibe. It's the same sort of creamy, sweet vanilla mixed with that coffee. This has orange blossom in it, which I do smell. It's it's giving it more sweetness. I don't really smell any form of a floral fragrance in this, which is so weird considering this is Gardenia. It's literally called Gardenia. And I'm like, where? Maybe there's Gardenia in here, but smell wise, there is zero Gardenia that I can pick up at all. And I don't think there's anybody that can say that this one smells like Gardenia or anything floral, because it's just sweet to me. Like, vanilla mixed with coffee is all I can really pick up on it. In my opinion, smelling them side by side, I think that the coffee note in Black Opium is slightly a bit more bitter, but they are very similar. Like, scent wise, they're super similar. They smell almost identical to me. So if you like scents like Black Opium, or it even kind of gives me the same vibe as like Girl of Now from Elise Saab, if you like those kinds of scents, you will love Gardenia. If you buy this fragrance, which it's literally like 17 bucks, you do not need to buy Black Opium. They are identical. Like, literally nobody would know that you're not wearing this fragrance if you have this one on. And then the other fragrance in this little double set is Orchid. Orchid has notes of bergamot, orchid, and vanilla. So Orchid is in the name, and there actually is orchid in the notes, at least that is stated anyway. Orchid is described like slowly falling into the most comfortable pair of pants, but better. Okay. Smelling Orchid, I can definitely smell like maybe like a hint of orchid in here. This one's a lot more fresh. It's a lot brighter and a little bit more fruitier than Gardenia, which is in the same set. I don't know if they put them in here because maybe they give off the same vibe, or maybe they're two completely different perfumes. I don't know why they put them in here. Maybe they're just completely unrelated, but smell wise, I do think that they are completely unrelated. They don't smell similar at all. For me, Orchid smells almost identical to the scent of Victoria's Secret's Bombshell. So if you know of that fragrance, which I'm sure a lot of people are probably very familiar with, it smells almost identical to it. Like, smelling it, that was the first thing that popped into my head. This is giving you fresh, floral, freshly out the shower kind of fragrance with a hint of sweetness in there as well, but not as sweet as a scent like Gardenia, for example. This one for me screams like springtime. It smells a lot like Victoria's Secret's Bombshell. So if you have that fragrance, I don't really think that you need this one because they smell the same. Very fresh. Honestly, not my favorite because I was never one of the people that loved Bombshell. No. I was never one of the people that was like a huge fan of Bombshell. I know that Bombshell is a lot of people's favorites, and I know that that is a scent that will really garner you compliments, but personally, it's just not my scent vibe. If I'm really not in the mood for this kind of a fragrance, or even if I am, if I constantly smell it throughout the day, it'll give me a headache. There's something headache-inducing to me about this fragrance. But it is a pretty scent. If you're looking for a floral, fresh, tiny bit sweet, very like feminine and soft kind of a fragrance, then go for Orchid. If you smelled Bombshell and you love this scent, try it out in this perfume. By the way, I will leave the best for last. It's actually like the two best for last, but they're kind of like the same. But anyways, I'll let you know in the end of this video which one is my favorite. Okay, so now we're going to go quickly back onto the Gardenias, because Gardenia actually has a couple of scents in the line. So like a couple different flankers of Gardenia. So I have two of them right here. I love the fact that these are like different colors, like red and orange. I just love how like minimal but also colorful these all are. I don't know, there's something really satisfying for me about these fragrances. So first off, let's look at Crispy Gardenia. This bottle is... I have no words. This is so cute. It's not a solid bottle, actually. This one is kind of see-through, so you can very clearly see the liquid, but it's all red. Crispy Gardenia is described as the beauty and warmth of a southern garden captured in an oriental creation, and it has notes of pear, gardenia, and patchouli. So this is the first scent that we're getting a little bit of patchouli now. You guys know patchouli and me, we're like oil and water. We don't really mix. There's certain times where we do in certain fragrances, but most of the time if there's too much patchouli in a fragrance, it's a no for me. It is a little bit similar to the original Gardenia. I can definitely pick up a little bit of that original Gardenia DNA in here, and also like that black opium vibe. I'm definitely getting that in here, but there's something more to it. I'm looking at all these on Fragrantica, and one of the perfumes in the This Perfumes Reminds Me Of category is actually La Belle from Jean Paul Gaultier, and I do own La Belle, and I love La Belle, but I don't really think this is giving me La Belle. Honestly, the more that it's drying down, it is kind of giving me La Belle. I wouldn't say it's an exact dupe specifically of La Belle. I would say it's like a really good mixture of La Belle and Black Opium, because I can smell little hints of both in here. But I wouldn't just say that this is straight up La Belle. I don't want to just describe these fragrances by saying like they're dupes, because some people don't have the dupes, so that doesn't really tell you anything about what the fragrance actually smells like. Again, with Crispy Gardenia, I don't smell any form of gardenia. Like, where is the Crispy Gardenia? Because girl, this one is again very, very sweet. It's not a floral fragrance, regardless of the fact that it has gardenia. I do smell patchouli in here, but also like I smell it in the exact same way as the original Gardenia. Even though the original Gardenia didn't state that it had patchouli anywhere, I feel like I could smell a little bit of a hint of it, just like I can smell it in Black Opium, and Black Opium actually has patchouli. But in these fragrances, I don't really like, I actually really like the fragrances. I don't really get the strong patchouli, even though it does kind of play a role into it. It doesn't really make the fragrance like a patchouli bomb. I barely smell the patchouli. It gives it like a little bit of a longer lasting power though, but I don't get patchouli in here, which is a good thing. The more that it's drying down, it is giving me La Belle, and La Belle is like a pear and vanilla and vetiver sort of a fragrance, so I guess this kind of smells similar. It's very sweet, it's very candy-like. I don't really think you need this if you have the original Gardenia, because I don't think that there is enough of a difference, even though it does have a little bit of that La Belle smell into this one, which the original Gardenia doesn't. I mean, if you're choosing, like if you want a specific perfume that smells like La Belle, then go for this, but I don't really think that you need both necessarily. And then the other Gardenia is Bright Gardenia. This one has notes of raspberry, gardenia, and freesia. So based off those notes, I was expecting this to be a little bit more on the fresher side and not so much on the heavy sweet side, which all the other ones have been, and this is exactly giving me that. But this one, unlike the other ones, is giving me a slight hint of gardenia. Finally, a gardenia fragrance that actually smells kind of like gardenia. Very slight though, because I still consider this mostly a sweet fragrance, but this one also has a floral touch to it, which the other gardenias, in my opinion, did not at all. This is described as picture the colors of a summer evening and enjoy its intense, intoxicating, almost exotic scent. This isn't really exotic to me, but is a really good scent though. There isn't really any perfume that I have smelled quite like this that I can say that this is like a dupe of, or is giving me similar vibes to, because I really can't pinpoint any. This one doesn't really smell like Black Opium to me, so it completely strays from that sort of aspect. The freesia is definitely playing a part into this, and so is that gardenia, making it a little bit more fresh, but I am getting that raspberry, so we still have the sweetness in here. It's just done in a more fresh and more uplifting sort of a way. This one is more so if you like a fruity fragrance, a little bit on the fresh side, but not too fresh, like not laundry fresh or airy fresh or boring fresh. If you love raspberry notes, I definitely smell that in here. If you don't love gardenia and you don't really love freesia, I still recommend giving this one a try, because I don't really love particularly those two. I don't really have a problem with freesia. I don't think I smell freesia like directly in a fragrance. It's just for me, when a fragrance has freesia, I'm like, okay, so it's gonna have like a fresher vibe to it. That's really all I get from freesia. It doesn't really necessarily give me so much like of a floral vibe, whereas gardenia really does. But this one It gives it a floral vibe, but in a really like tolerable way for somebody that doesn't like florals. So yeah, that is by Gardenia. And look at these bottles next to each other. Are you kidding? Look how cute they are. So the next one I have is Violet Blossom. I had to pick this one up just from this packaging. It's giving very dark, mysterious vibes, whereas all the other ones are very like light packaging, super colorful. This one it looks very dark and mysterious, kind of sexy. So that's kind of the vibe that I was getting from it and hoping that it would give me. This one is described as a stolen gaze from across the hall, blossoming in silence in the middle of the night. There's notes of cherry blossom, magnolia, and tonka bean in here. Here is what the packaging looks like. This is gorgeous. And as far as the scent, it's giving me what the bottle is giving me. Ooh. Yeah, this one is so pretty. I'm in love with this one. It really has a deep, mysterious vibe to it. Very sexy. Ooh. I don't really know how to like even describe this. On the Fragrantica website, it says that some perfumes that are comparable to it is actually Girl of Now from Elie Saab. We have Poison Girl in the same category. There's even Alien in here, which I don't really get. I wish I got Alien in this, but I don't. This one is giving me that like nutty, almondy sort of like creaminess, like rich sweetness, the same way that Girl of Now also has. But there is an element to this that is really unique that none of those fragrances have. Maybe it's just a mixture of all of those perfumes that I just mentioned that I'm kind of smelling in here. I mean, I am getting the resemblance to Girl of Now, but this is Girl of Now's like sexy older sister. Girl of Now like wishes that she could be her. Girl of Now is a lot more tame, everyday sort of a fragrance. This one's more like nighttime, going to the clubs, wearing a little skimpy dress or something. I definitely smell tonka bean in here. Maybe it's the tonka bean that I'm smelling that is kind of giving this like a unique factor to that Elie Saab Girl of Now scent. And in the opening, you get a really, really strong punch of that cherry scent. Like it's really, really there. And once it dries down, it actually still kind of lingers on, mixed with the scent of tonka bean. It kind of softens it a little bit, but there is a pretty prominent, I would say, like cherry scent to this. So if you like cherry blossom, sweetness, that's really what I'm getting out of this. I really, really like this. One of my favorites from the sweeter side. This is by far, out of all of the ones that I just reviewed, the sexiest. This screams like this is like a sex bomb in a bottle. It's very, very sexy. Definitely a date night sort of smell. Something that a lot of people will be like attracted to. Super, super sexy and very mysterious. Like I imagine myself wearing like a leather jacket with this scent, because that's just what it calls for. So that is Violet Blossom. Right. So then this is kind of giving similar vibes to Violet Blossom with this really dark, mysterious packaging. This is Nuit. Nuit is described as a mysteries. I need to go back to school. Mysteries arising from captivating eyes, shapes of the unknown. This has notes of apricot, lily of the valley, and vanilla. You know, any scent that has vanilla just draws me in like a magnet. Look at this bottle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and spray this because I bought these a while ago, so I almost forget what they smell like. So let's see. Ooh. Oh my god. These freaking flaps keep hitting my face. She is sexy. This one is sexy and grown. There is like a creaminess to it. The more it's drying down, it's getting better and better. Really good. This one is really good. This one is so sexy. Like, that's all I can say. I feel like that's all I'm saying. I'm getting a powdery vanilla scent, and normally I'm not one to like powdery scents. And I know that a lot of people are confused when I say powdery, like what that means. To me, it means like a baby powder sort of scent, like a powder scent, basically. Really creamy, like really smooth, almost powdery vanilla vibes. And it almost is reminding me slightly of Hypnotic Poison from Dior, and you know I love that perfume, but this one is even darker. This one's a lot more mysterious. This one's a lot more wearable. I know that Hypnotic Poison is not everybody's cup of tea. It's a very loud perfume, pretty polarizing. This one is not though. Honestly, what I smell most in here is a really creamy vanilla scent, but like a grown vanilla. This is not like a juvenile scent at all. This is not a work fragrance, because this is almost like insinuating something, because it's very, very sexy. This is gonna sound really weird, but it kind of smells like a lipstick smell, like a really good smelling lipstick, almost like a MAC lipstick vibe, like that vanilla sweet lips. It smells like a lipstick. It smells like makeup, like that makeup-y lipstick smell. I'm sure if you're a makeup lover and you know by your lipsticks, then you probably know what I mean. This is just a very deep and dark and mysterious vanilla, not like a typical little girl kind of vanilla. And I feel like that's not really a perfume that I hear a lot about, because I've watched a couple Zara perfume reviews and I don't hear a lot of people talking about Nuit. So if it is a fragrance that is not really talked about, it is very underrated. So let me know if you have Nuit and if you love it, because I love it. Okay, then we have a fragrance that I feel like this is like more so on the popular side from Zara, and this is Zara Femme. This is one of their most popular fragrances. Really love this packaging. Very pretty, very simple, but I don't know, there's something about this minimal sort of packaging that really speaks to me. It's giving you just all white vibes. It kind of is almost giving me like licorice vibes in here, which I love. Like, I know that a lot of people don't love the scent of licorice. I love it. In scents like Lolita Lampica, that's like one of my all-time favorite perfumes. It smells so good, and I'm getting a licorice vibe in here. It's so weird to me that this one is called Femme, and I feel like this one is, it's feminine, but I feel like this one is the one that has the most of a like masculine feel to it, like slightly. It's not a like masculine perfume, but there is something in it, like a muskiness that kind of makes me think of like a cologne. It's really pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this. I do get a little bit of the Hypnotic Poison smell, but to be honest, I was getting more of that scent in the Nuit. I don't really get it as much in here. This one is not as deep. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit softer, still very, very sweet and very much sexy gourmand. It almost gives you a spiciness in the beginning, which I feel like is why like I'm smelling that masculine vibe. There's like this spice that is only really, it only lasts in the beginning when you first spray this, but then it dries down, and as it dries down, it gets a lot sweeter, more creamier, more vanilla-like. But you do get like that sexy licorice spiciness. I don't know what that's coming from necessarily, because the notes in here are peony, vanilla, and musk. I definitely smell the vanilla and musk, not so much the peony. I feel like this would make more sense if there was a note of like cinnamon or something spicy in here. I'm a boss chick, kind of mature, but still very sexy. Like you're wearing a suit, but like underneath you have lingerie. It's a really, really gorgeous vanilla, very much gourmand. It's a really beautiful scent, very complex. I feel like all of these just do not smell cheap at all. They all just have this really expensive quality to them, and this one is no different. It definitely lives up to the hype. It's just a very intoxicating vanilla musky scent. So that is Femme. So now we have made it to the last two, and my top favorites, I would say, of all of these perfumes. When I smelled this, I fell in love. I actually bought one of these, and then I had to go back and buy the other one, because like, wow, this is like a top 10 kind of perfume, a perfume that will last in my collection forever kind of a perfume that I will wear for the rest of my life kind of perfume. Like, it just completely blew me away, like mind blown. I was just like, these are my fragrances. I'm gonna show them both because one is the original and then the other one is the flanker. This is Tuberose. So I have the original Tuberose right here, and then I have Tuberose Winter. I actually bought Tuberose Winter first, weirdly enough, because you would think I would have bought the original, but I bought Tuberose Winter and then I bought Tuberose because I'm like, I cannot, I have to have both. I almost wanted to get like 3 more of this scent, because when I smell this, oh my gosh. These types of scents are like my favorite scents. Other than sweet gourmands, I die for these kinds of scents. This smells so expensive, so unique. There isn't any perfume that I have personally smelled that smells like this. This has notes of blackcurrant. You already know, I'm obsessed with blackcurrant, so that's probably why I love this. tuberose, and vanilla. I could describe this scent for like hours and hours and hours, and nothing will ever do it justice because it's a scent that you have to smell for yourself. I don't even want to dare and say that this is a fruity vanilla scent because I just feel like that sounds so basic, and I've described so many scents in that same way, and this one just has so much character to it. It is so good. When I tell you the first time that I sprayed this, I could not stop smelling it. It's sweet. It's musky, but like in the best way possible. I don't like musk. Do not like to smell like BO. The musk in it is just working so well with the vanilla sweetness that it has going on. To be completely honest, I'm not so familiar with the scent of tuberose. I don't have a ton of perfumes that are like strictly tuberose, so I don't think I've ever been super well acquainted with the scent of tuberose to really like pick it up. So I'm not sure if I'm really picking up tuberose. Maybe that is what I'm smelling that smells so unique and really amazing. They've described it as a comfortable as a cloud, soft like a flower, carefully crafted with a twist for colder days. I mean, it is tuberose winter. This is a winter scent. I mean, you can wear it during the winter, but I feel like it's a really pretty summer scent as well. This is like an all year round. There's nothing in this where it's like too much for the summer, not enough for the winter. It's like all good for all kind of seasons, all kind of occasions. It's just so good, like very much signature scent worthy, very, very sexy. This is just so good. I wouldn't describe this as a floral scent though, regardless of the fact that this is called tuberose, the same way that Gardenia is called Gardenia and there was like no Gardenia to be found. I feel like they're doing that thing again with these tuberose smell, because although I'm not really well acquainted with tuberose, I know that it's supposed to give it like a floral feel, and I'm not really getting floral in here. Slightly, but it's more so like sexy, musky, sweet. It almost kind of smells woody to me, which is why I love it, because I love my woody scents. And then as far as the original, weirdly enough, they have the exact same notes. So again, notes of blackcurrant, tuberose, and vanilla. And this one is described comfortable as a cloud, soft like a flower. That's weird. They have the exact same description, but for winter, they have added carefully crafted with a twist for colder days. But they both say that they're comfortable as a cloud, soft like a flower. So I don't know if these are the exact same scents. Did I get scammed? I'm just kidding. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if these were the exact same scents, which they smell the same to me. I feel like this one's a little bit more uplifting, and I think this one's a little bit sweeter. I don't know if there is a legitimate difference in these or if I'm just tripping out. I don't know. But this one kind of reminds me of Rihanna's Rebel Fleur. So if you like Rebel Fleur, this kind of has a hint of it, but this is better. I love this. Like, this has become like one of my favorites. I'm so glad that I have two, because these will last me a long time, and these are fragrances that I will be repurchasing because I'm so obsessed like with this scent. I cannot get enough of it. I've already worn this one a ton and I've gotten compliments on it. I haven't really worn this one, but they're the exact same scent. If I could recommend, because I always like to recommend at least one perfume out of all my videos, if you were to only be able to get one, I feel like the one I would personally recommend is tuberose. Either tuberose winter or tuberose, whichever one you can find easier. They smell exactly the same, but get these. I don't know if these are really popular in their lines. If they are, let me know. But if they're not, very underrated. And if they are, then that's good. Okay, so I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I'm gonna rank them. I don't know how I'm gonna rank them because there's so many of them where I'm like, I love them all equally, so I feel like they're all in like first or second place. I'm gonna try my hardest to rank these. Number one would definitely be these. I don't think I can choose which one because they smell exactly the same to me. I guess I'd say Tuberose Winter since it's the first one that I tried. And if I do pick up a difference, I guess I like this one more. I don't know, but they smell the exact same. So I guess I'll put these both for numero one. My number two spot would probably go to Femme. I love this perfume. So good. Definitely giving me that licorice vibe that I love. My third place would probably go to Violet Blossom. This is just giving me sexy vibes. Very dark vibes. Just me all the way. I love these types of fragrances. I feel like third would probably be tied for Wonder Rose because I just can't put this one in fourth. I love it so much. It definitely needs to be higher up on this scale because it's just so like fruity and sweet. I would tie this one for this, even though they're like completely different vibes. tied for 3rd place. Next up for 5th place, I have another tie because I just can't pick, okay? Don't believe me in the comments. I literally cannot pick. So I'm going to do a tie for apple juice and go fruity because I just love them both equally. I feel really bad putting some of these like at the bottom because I love those, but compared to the ones that I love more, I have to do it. And then I have a tie for pretty much all of the Gardenias, especially these two because I feel like these are the exact same fragrance with like a minor difference. That's the crispy Gardenia and the Gardenia. So I will tie those for, what place is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. And then for 7th place, I would put bright Gardenia because it's a little bit more so on the fresher side, which I normally don't love. My last place, I feel bad to do this, but this is just not my kind of scent, would be Orchid because I'm not a huge fan of Bombshell from Victoria's Secret, and it smells identical to me to that. So I would definitely put that for last place. But really, like, overall, guys, I'm like in love with these perfumes. I'm so happy that I bought these. Like, I do not regret it one bit, and I will be getting more because I definitely want to try out more. So that is it for my Zara video. I'm finally at the end of it. I literally thought this video was going to take me like 3 hours to film. It probably did, but I feel like that went really fast because I was just so excited about these perfumes, and I couldn't wait to let you guys know about these. Let me know which Zara perfumes you have tried out. I'm so interested to know because if there's anyone that I didn't pick up that you think I need, leave me in the comments because I will literally go tomorrow and buy it. But that is it for today. Please subscribe to my channel and turn your post notifications on so that you're notified when I post next, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!